Hello, welcome back to my channel. My name's Stephen. Today I'm doing another Q&A. This one is the Writers Are Weird book tag. So I'm just going to answer 10 questions about writing. Question 1. Do you have any bizarre internet searches? Absolutely yes. There's lots of weird things that I want to look up sometimes, and the only way to do it is to go on the internet and find out, or go to the library. But when the internet is right in front of me, it's so much easier just to type something in. And I'd be quite worried if someone went back through my search history and looked at all the weird things I've investigated, whether it's to do with, how long does it take for a body to start smelling once it's dead, or something like that. And you think, oh, well, when would so-and-so set in? And someone might get really worried if they look through my search history, yeah. Question 2. Do you write people in to your story that you don't like so that you can kill them off? Not really. I think that's a bit too direct. There might be some aspects of people I meet in the street or people I come in contact with through friends that I think, oh, that's not a very nice person. But I might use an aspect, but I wouldn't just write a person in completely carte blanche and the whole person is there and then just so I can kill them off in an unpleasant way. I don't tend to do that. Maybe as a favour to a friend, I might put someone in and have a little cameo, but I wouldn't kill them off unless they asked me to. Question 3. Does personal hygiene come second to the writing? No, absolutely not. I'm a very clean person. I'm not someone who gets so lost in the work that I completely forget about brushing my teeth or combing my hair or something like that. Question 4. Do you go on baby name websites to find character names? Yes, I do. Sometimes I'll want a particular feel of a character, so I'll say, let's go and look up German folk names or historic surnames or Swiss names or whatever it might be. If I'm trying to get a slightly different flavour to the character, I can take an old name or a name that's not used very often these days and change it a little to create something unique. But I use baby name websites for inspiration and a good starting point to create my own names, really. Question 5. Do you have a list of actors and actresses that you would want to call on if your books were ever adapted into a TV or film? Not really. I don't tend to write with someone in mind either. Like if I'm writing one character, I don't sort of think, oh, he's a bit like this actor, that's who I'm going to base it on. More probably the way around, but even then I haven't really got a list of people. I tend to like being surprised by TV shows when they cast someone and I think, oh, how are they going to make that person look like that character the way I've got it in my head? And sometimes it's the same, sometimes it's very different. And I only know if it's worked when I see the performance, and then sometimes I'm very pleasantly surprised. Sometimes it just doesn't work. The character doesn't work for me the way the person's doing, but other times I look at it and think, this is brilliant, I absolutely like it. But it comes down to personal taste. So if I think about the Last Kingdom books by Bernard Cornwell and the main character Uhtred, I really like the actor that they've got playing him, but I know some people don't like him because he's not as dirty and as ugly as they hoped he would be. Question 6. Have you ever stared at a stranger in the street because they look like one of your characters? No, not really, because my version is never something that's completely out there, that I've never come across someone and been so startled that I've just stared at them. Question 7. Do you talk to yourself to help work through scenes? Not really, no, because it all tends to be in my head. I tend to go into the book in my mind and I'm working it through in there, so I'm not having conversations out loud. I tend to have to get my head into a particular space, and so I'm not looking around the room thinking or pacing back and forth. I know some authors do that, but I'm very much on the page when I'm writing. I'm not thinking about or looking around the world. Question 8. When writing, do you make the expressions that your characters are making? No, I don't do that either. That's too close to the kind of talking thing. I'm not a very outwardly visual person. I'm not very good at visualizing things anyway. I'm not a very good artist. I'm much better with the written word. And so it's all just playing out in my head, the whole thing. Question 9. Do you ever practice answering questions in case you make it big? No, that's not something I do either. I never imagine myself on the red carpet saying, oh yes, well, I always thought my book was going to be adapted and now I've just practiced it now. But apart from now, no, I don't tend to do that. I'm not focused on where the books might go or how they might be adapted. When I'm writing the books, or even afterwards, I'm not thinking about that. I'm thinking about the next project usually. And whilst writing that book, there's another one in the back of my mind ticking over, and I'm working on that one. So no, I don't think about rehearsing speeches or anything like that. And question 10 is, do you have a soundtrack or playlist for your books or scenes when you write them? Yes, so I tend to work with soundtracks. I tend to work with music on whenever I'm writing. I've always got something in the background. It has to be something without lyrics, otherwise I just end up listening to what they're saying and I'll just start writing that down. Soundtracks for me put me in a particular headspace. If I'm writing a battle scene, sometimes I might need an extra jolt, so I'll put on some Bear McCreary from Battlestar Galactica. He did all 5 seasons and all of the kind of spin-off things as well, and he did all of the music for that, and all of his stuff is fantastic. I have so many soundtracks, whether it's The Last Samurai, whether it's Marco Polo from Netflix, whether it's a movie soundtrack from Blade Runner 2049, lots of Hans Zimmerman, lots of Thomas Newman, lots of things like Jamie Sieber or Zoe Keating. These are all instrumental artists who are fantastic music. And I love all that kind of stuff. I've probably got 30 or 40 soundtracks, I can't even remember. I don't have particular ones that form the spine of the book. It's only that if I'm struggling whilst writing a scene, I might need an extra push, so I'll put on something particularly energetic or enthusiastic or really loud for a battle scene. If I'm trying to think about something carefully and thoughtfully, sometimes I'll have no music at all. I'll just turn it off. But other times I want something quite soothing to get me in a sort of philosophical headspace, as it were. If I'm struggling with a sentence, I'll sometimes put something on like that that's a bit quiet, and that really sort of helps with me. I know some people can't write with music at all. They just think it kind of intrudes, but silence for me, or soundtracks, but 9 out of 10 times I'll have some kind of a soundtrack on. Right, those are the 10 questions for that book tag. That's it for today. I'll be back soon.